What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Allow God's living waters to wash over you and refresh your soul.
You've been praying for yourself when the answer is in praying for other people. While I'm praying for California, God shows up in my house.
As kingdom people, with the king in us and us being sovereign ground, we're not governed by the laws of this land, but we're governed by the laws of heaven.
He's talking about you going to draw water from the wells of salvation. Where's the well? In you.
If we want to release the water, watch this, we don't have to pray for it to come. Where we are now, we pray for it to be released.
Release deliverance and transformation in every area of your life through God's living waters. This revitalizing 3-message series can be yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
Isn't it time to stop reliving your past hurts and move on to a bright and hopeful future?
I have a right to be upset, but I don't have a right to be wounded for the rest of my life. So I choose to be healed.
Get rid of the bitter poison that unforgiveness administers to the soul with Bishop David G. Evans. Forgive again, live again.
It's a liberating experience, and being able to forgive someone and forgiving yourself. It's liberating.
Forgiveness will deliver me in 3 dimensions. From what happened, from who it happened with, from when it happened. Because sometimes you'll get free from the what, but the who will still have you bound.
This highly sought-after 4-part message of healing can be yours on CD or DVD. Act now, and we'll include Bishop's book, Healed Without Scars, with your order absolutely free. All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
Adversaries come in many forms, but you will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this. You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning on any smart device at David G. Evans, the #1, at David G. Evans 1. Won't you like, subscribe, share with all your friends and your followers? Hit that notification button so every time On Point is on, you won't miss one word of these dynamic conversations as we seek to give you kingdom insights into all the major current events, both locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally, that impact your life, but always from a kingdom biblical point of view. The foundation of our discussion, of course, is our faith, but it does not preclude us from discussing any of the hot topics that are front and center in your life, in our lives, each time we come together. So I'm inviting you to join us every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And, tag a few people. Invite them to join us and join this conversation. We're really honored today to have Reverend Richard White here with us. Pastor Nick is away for the weekend, and we are just glad to have Rich in town. He's an extremely busy guy, doing some great things nationally and internationally. We're just so glad that you could join us. How you doing this morning?
I'm good, Bishop. How are you today?
Man, I'm trying to make it for an old guy, man.
You're looking good.
We want you to give us a call, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-764-EVANS. Give us a call. I look forward to talking to you this morning. We look forward to having conversation with you, so get on the line. We have subjects, of course, but if something is pressing on your heart, especially if you need some kind of spiritual insight into a matter, hopefully we can add some wisdom to the answers that God is giving you. There were some interesting things happened this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, being a part of the banking industry, I'm amazed at how people include themselves in a context because something unique happens somewhere else. The whole Silicon Valley Bank and the Signature Bank, I believe, when they say they're two of the largest banks, that's not necessarily true. They may be in that city, but they certainly aren't nationally two of the largest banks. I don't even know how that got started.
No, because the largest banks are the ones that bailed them out.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I think large, I'm thinking Chase, J.P. Morgan. I'm thinking Bank of America. I'm thinking those banks, not Silicon Valley Bank, which is, I don't know if there's any Silicon Valley banks here in New Jersey. I doubt. I think it's centralized right there where it is. No, never heard of it. So I don't know how that gets to be two of the largest banks. Maybe in that city or in that vicinity.
Yeah, in that region. Okay,
so, I understand that one of the banks was 50% in the crypto, which is a real unstable. But I don't even know if it's unstable because I think Bitcoin's down to like $25,000 a coin.
It's down. We both know it's down.
But that's not cheap. That's not down for a lot of people.
That's right.
So that was interesting. And then First Republic Bank, they got the $30 billion. Now, First Republic and Republic Bank are two different banks.
That's right.
Now, my guy owns Republic right now. But First Republic, I don't know where that is.
I've seen signs for First Republic.
For First Republic?
Yeah, all over the East Coast.
Okay.
So there, and I said Silicon Valley was helped out. It was First Republic that was actually helped out.
Yeah. The government came in and backed up all Silicon Valley stuff, and First Republic got a $30 billion rescue from one of the larger banks.
All the ones you just mentioned.
Yeah. So, it's to the best interest of the industry to step in these situations where some of their peers, and I think at another time, now what I think is going to happen, I think we're going to get some opportunistic acquisitions during this period.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, I think there are going to be some, they're going to call them mergers, but they're really going to be takeovers.
Well, there's so much money out there, and there's, and folks are, just fluid with cash, particularly banks and private equity funds, so they're going to go in and place the bet. And and they're going to get it. Yeah. They're going to get it. That's right.
And the FDIC was warning about these particular banks, not the banking industry overall. No.
They say the banking industry is strong. It's not.
Of course,
it's not back to the 2007, 2008. Financial breakdown.
But then part of the problem was the deregulation that our previous president brought in. And they started doing things without rules and doing whatever they were allowed to do. And I think that's how some of them got in a little trouble.
That's right. And then this Silicon Valley one over there, there's a lot of tech companies out there. And you saw the Metas and the Facebooks and all these tech companies were laying off folks. So then the banks start to get upside down, and then that's what happens.
Yeah. Now, I haven't heard much more about the kidnapping of the Americans, the killing of two. But I for years, people have been going to Mexico to get some medical procedures that are discount rated.
Yes.
People are taking chances and getting the plastic surgery or the cosmetic surgery, I think they call it now, that was unaffordable here.
That's right.
In addition to that, I understood that either last week Medicare or Medicaid or one of them decided that when a woman has to have breast replacement, that they were no longer going to pay for the procedure where this one doesn't make sense to me, the procedure where she would replace some of the tissue with her own fat. They only were going to pay for the implants. So it was the most bizarre thing I'd ever heard.
Because it was coming from you.
Look, but and that particular procedure is a $50,000 procedure. The one with you taking fat from the other parts of your body. That's a $50,000 procedure. Of course, you can get a breast job for $8,000-$10,000 in a very legitimate place.
Right.
Because it's not that big of an operation anymore. Yeah. I sometimes I don't know who's driving the bus.
Well, well, this thing in Mexico, I mean, whether it's Mexico or South America, to have to go to get a procedure done just seems awfully risky, regardless of what you're thinking about.
Far away from home.
Far away from home.
And Mexico does have its challenging areas. It's not a safe place to go in a lot of places. Obviously, they thought they were all right. All they did was cross the border in a van.
Yeah, folks say that Mexico is like Colombia was.
Yes.
You know, Mexico's rough now.
Yeah, extremely.
You got to be careful.
Now, you don't have any business down there now, do
I
you?
had business down there. But
Did you?
Last time, I haven't been there since 2019.
Okay.
And believe me when I say, when we went there,
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 guards. They would take me to my hotel room. They would pick me up at the airport. They wouldn't leave me until I got through security. That's how bad Mexico was.
Wow.
And it's not that, it's only that, okay, you work for a big company, they got deep pockets, let's take this dude. And they can see who's coming in and they know who's coming in.
So the firm hired him for you.
So the companies hire security.
Obviously, they were well armed and
Yeah.
yeah.
I felt safe, but I wanted to get out of there. I didn't stay long.
Look, the aggressive nature of the guys that I have heard about in Mexico, it's almost as though what we see here, like in Philly and Chicago, it's like 100 times worse.
It's
than that.
exponential.
Yeah. I mean, there is no concern for anybody.
If the folks weren't concerned about living in Mexico, they wouldn't be crossing the border.
Well, yeah, they're trying to leave there.
For a reason.
Yeah, they're trying to leave. They're trying to get out of Dodge. So this morning, I'm checking out the news as I always am, and I hear that our former president is going to be arrested on Tuesday.
He's the one who let it out.
Well, he needed to let it out because he needed to get people riled up just in case that's gonna. But he's in New York. You're not going to intimidate. They got bombed. You're not going to intimidate them.
New York, not New York.
No. So he can, you guys come protest, take the country back, because it's amazing how he's likening him being arrested to people's country being taken away.
Yeah.
So he did the same, y'all come do what you need to do, but you don't want to do that in New York.
Right. No, not New York.
No,
because they're ready. They're ready.
You might try that in Podunk, but not in Manhattan.
No. What do you think about that, though? If they do indict him on this $130,000 hush money that he paid, is that relevant now?
Well, I think what the relevancy is that somehow he got convinced or thought it was going to be good enough that if he had a non-disclosure, that would cover up the criminal act.
Right.
And it doesn't.
And it doesn't.
So it's the criminal act doesn't go away. And I think the worst thing he ever did was tell the world he didn't know Cohen.
That's right. Yeah.
I understand he practices distancing himself from people. And people that he has, good work ethic with, good relationship, I don't know. But I think that was the worst.
Yeah. Particularly when the guys knows a lot of stuff.
And he
Let's
does
put it that way.
They say he doesn't pay his lawyers.
Yeah.
That's what nobody wants. They say you can't trust what he's going to say, and he doesn't pay him.
Yeah.
So guys are actually asking for the money up front. We're not representing you unless you give us $5 million.
Give us the money. Give us the money, man. It's going to be interesting. You think it's the beginning of a lot bigger?
I think New York. I think New York is. I think New York and Georgia are about to hinder him significantly. But New York, I keep telling people, people think that it should be a snappy.
Right.
But New York specializes in mob prosecutions and financial district prosecutions. They are not to be played with when it comes to this dynamic.
Right.
And New Jersey is not far behind us.
That's right.
So it was the wrong place to think you could go play it fast and loose.
Yeah, but when somebody tells you that you can do anything you want to do, and you have that,
and he's been doing it for a while.
Has been doing it for a while. Has been successful doing it.
Yeah.
Successful doing it. Now the Georgia thing is because he made the phone call
and they
to get him to overturn.
They have some more tapes. They came out with another set of tapes this week that the grand jury there heard, and they're like, when you guys hear this evidence, is a slew of it. So he didn't just make the one call that everybody was familiar with. There are other tapes of him,
How does that cloud the waters for this? It's only a year and a half. It's only a year and a half.
Oh, pull your microphone.
It's only a year and a half away before the 24 election, right? What's that?
Yeah.
How does this cloud what the Republicans or the GOP party is going to do?
I'm wondering. First off, the need to redistrict and the need to turn over elections and the need to all that, Rich, that's not the behavior of a majority.
That's right. That's not.
So the actions alone are screaming, we don't have the numbers. So what do? I've got to create some kind of scenario that if I lose, it's wrong. If I win, that's the only way it's legitimate. But the bottom line is they don't have the numbers anymore.
Right.
And the thing that they don't like is the juggernaut called the minority vote, period, and the women vote. Well, they're starting to lose some of the women in an already shrinking base that they have. Right. And people, after the guys I knew, after their zeal started to dissipate about President Trump, the daily drama began to be too much for him. Because every time I saw him, I'd say, so tell me what you think about, how you guys reacting to,
help me understand.
Yeah, help me understand what, how you're thinking now. Because I know you're a staunch Republican. Tell me how you're thinking. And they got to the point they couldn't answer questions because it was just too much for them.
Too much.
Because they have too much of their own life going on, and they don't need the guy that they picked. Bringing some extra drama in their lives,
right.
And then having to defend their positions consistently against friends, co-workers, relatives, spouses, children. Because everybody's asking them questions. Yeah. A buddy of mine passed recently, and I challenged him. I said, what's up with your guy? And he thought, while he was campaigning, he said, oh, that's just campaign talk. I waited about 6 months to a year. After I called him again. I said, so you still think it was campaign talk? And he used some words and said, man, that guy's crazy. So it was. I don't think anybody expected him to go this far.
Right.
But I do fault the Republican leaders that I know that A, they were afraid to be honest about him, and B, they're still afraid because they want the base that's too small to win to stay loyal to him. Yeah. My thing is, why don't you change your platform so you can bring some people over to where you are?
Right. A little shift, a little transformation of the party.
Yeah, if you got it away from this, extreme fringe thing and brought it back to where it was, I think they'd get some people migrating back.
They just need to listen to you, and they didn't do a reset, or reignite, and restore.
Oh man,
they can learn something from that.
Man, it's crazy, man. They're just. I'm amazed. I've been alive. I haven't been alive forever, but I've been alive long enough to see this Republican Party and the way it has morphed into what it is. I honestly don't recognize it now. It just seems to be filled and attracted with people that are fringe, laser beam folk and, Marjorie Taylor Greens and what happened to them?
Yeah, because it's something beneficial about having a balance of power across both, the Democratic Party, Republican Party, and that's what it was meant to be from the beginning, a balance, and it just seems just out of whack.
We got some people on the line. We got Robin from Newcastle, Danny from Lauderhill. We got Darlene from Willingboro. We're going to Robin first. You can give us a call. We still have a few lines open, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We're going to take them in that order, Robin, Danny, and Darlene. Welcome to On Point. How you doing? Robin? Okay, we're going to see what Robin's doing later, and then we're going to go to, hey, Danny, how you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing this morning?
Doing all right. Welcome to On Point, my bro.
All right. Good morning to your guests and staff. How's everyone?
What's going on?
All right. Just pretty good. I'm just doing some thinking here. I just want to comment on something. How short people's memories is on things that happen.
Yeah.
And our governor's running around campaigning, and I guess the people he's talking to, they really don't know the scope of things that's going on. And then how he says that, how open our state is. It's the free state of Florida, and what have you. And, how he's taking control of the education system as to what the students are being taught. And if we do not go ahead and talk to our kids and let them know exactly the real history of what's going on, then a lot of this history will be lost. So we have to go ahead and keep that up and, communicate with them and talk to them and let them know what really happened, how it all came about.
Did I hear something this week where he has decided to do something even more granular with the textbooks and what the kids can learn, or something cannot be included in curriculum again, something new?
He's constantly in all the way up to the higher learning, to like college curriculum. If it's a state institute, he wants to go ahead and take complete control as to what they can say, what they can speak, what they can teach, and what have you. So we have to, let the truth go out there, because if we don't, it'll be lost, and what have you.
Well, I have a question for you. Now, I haven't been to Florida in a while, but last time I was down there were a whole lot more people populating the state than there were populating the offices of the politicians. So I'm not understanding why, if this is so egregious to the majority of the state, or maybe I'm making an incorrect assumption, why aren't the people saying anything? At least the way we're getting the news, it looks like DeSantis does whatever he wants to do, and the population in Florida is silent. That's the way it looks up here.
Okay, something that you have to watch what they're doing as far as the population goes, and people that are coming in, immigrating to the United States and what have you. He claims that the borders are closed and what have you. The first thing that he did was that he activated the guard, the state police, and what have you, to intercept people coming in, mainly through the seaports and Key West and what have you. Now, the thing that is hidden is that we do not know what happens to them, what they're doing with them after they intervene and bring them in.
What do you mean you don't know? They're not saying?
I'll answer that. Okay, some who depends who you are, and then like you always say, who's doing
who determines what? Yeah, who determines what?
And determines what happens. If you're from a certain place, you will get sent back.
Okay.
But then they have this thing. Watch this now, and especially Miami-Dade. You have a sponsor that will sponsor you.
So you get to stay.
So-called, you will stay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Remember
well, wait a minute. Take me back to something, Danny. I thought your governor was on a book tour. I didn't think he was campaigning. So that's
strongly campaigning.
So the book tour is a cover for the campaign?
Yes.
So is that supposed to fool former President Trump that he's not really opposing him at this point? But I think that facade has been lifted, right? Okay. Amazing.
And he knows he's playing a weight game, because when they indict him, then that leaves everything wide open for him to go ahead and to do whatever. Okay? And then the other thing that he's campaigning on is he said that how he closed the state of Florida against COVID.
He did not.
Okay? If anything, and people's memory is very short. We had 2 Super Bowls in a row.
He didn't close this. Why did he stop? You guys had some of the highest death rates in the country, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes. And they spread that nationally from there. When people came to the Super Bowl,
I know.
It spread.
I guess you guys just forget stuff.
Right.
What do you got, Rich?
But the paper says, DeSantis guided Florida through the COVID pandemic with intelligent public health measures but without destructive, freedom-crushing business lockdowns, school closing, and mass mandates.
They had the highest death rate in the nation. They were in the top 10,
and that's the Wall Street Journal.
Like for almost 2 years.
And Bishop, when the vaccine was out, certain select groups received it.
That's right.
I heard about it.
That's right. That's very true.
Is it?
When the vaccine first got to Florida, I'm glad you brought that up, Danny. There was only the folks that were living in, Fort Myers, Sanibel. There was certain areas that got the vaccine first.
Naples.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they got it first. How about this bill, HB 999, Danny, that Florida is bringing forward through Governor DeSantis, that would prohibit colleges and universities from funding or backing programs that espouse or support DE&I, like women's history, gender studies, critical race theory. Is that getting a lot of publicity in the state? So they're saying not only schools, but now the colleges can't teach any of
But
this
I
stuff.
want to know something, Rich. How can you deny something that doesn't exist? I don't know a school that has on their curriculum list critical race theory.
I don't know it.
Because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
And he's using a fear tactic, and with these different names, he's branding certain topics as something that's not even there.
Critical race. I've been alive 71 years. I was at a black university as chair. I don't remember us having that on the curriculum.
I went to a black university too, and it wasn't on the curriculum.
Okay. Critical. Because they certainly wouldn't be teaching it in white universities as a rule.
No.
Danny, man, how's my sister doing?
Blessed, and highly favored.
3 times blessed, huh? Okay. Please tell her I asked for.
Will do, Bishop.
All right, man. Talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now. Going to Darlene. Hi, Darlene.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right. What's happening this morning? What's your comment?
So my comment is about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you had called people for prayer who was in the area of negotiating contracts.
Yes.
And so that's partly my job for a pharma company that I work for.
Okay.
I license and negotiate the contracts for our literature databases and ebooks and journals for their library. And I said, well, my daughter was there because I was working that night, and so she went up for prayer, and so I thought that was it. Until this week I found out that Big Pharma purchased my mid-sized pharma company because we're specialized in cancer. So they are actually purchasing the company by the end of the year.
Okay.
And so I'm like, wow, that is so prophetic for Bishop to call up people for contracts and negotiation when I thought it was on a smaller level.
Oh, no.
But when I found out later, it's a larger level, which is my whole company.
Some of the I was just involved in a conversation last Wednesday about a particular financial institution they got all the votes and put all the systems in place to shift them from let's say $100 million organization to a $300 million organization. They had been in these negotiations for like the last 8 or 9 months. And then all of a sudden, we prayed and on the corporate level that happened again. And we're going to hear more of that. We've heard from people that, went from supervisor to director. The testimonies have been amazing. I don't know why we're surprised, because it is God, but those services have produced the fruit of our faith in a very significant way. Our faith has been, something's going on with the microphones, you all. Our faith has been, the fruit of it has just been amazing. And not to mention, just jobs and career changes and debt cancellation. And when I say debt cancellation, I mean money, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. People getting letters that it's been forgiven and wiped out. People have brought the statements in to show us going from 68,000 to zero. So it's and people getting unexpected blessings, checks coming in that take care of the exact amount of debt that they didn't know what they were going to do with it. It's just been incredible.
Yes, and the Big Pharma purchased our company for $42 $3 billion.
I'm sure.
And so.
And that's going to benefit all of you all.
Yes.
Absolutely. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
You stay strong, Doc. Thanks for calling us.
You.
All right.
You.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're going to Tom, and then we're going to Robin. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Reverend White?
Good morning.
What's going on down there in Florida?
You were asking about our illustrious governor.
Yes, illustrious, yes.
In that book tour.
Yeah, man.
You don't have to worry about, because you know, our old ex-president, Trump's already got on him. He's got lawyers going after him saying he's spending money illegally for a presidential campaign, and they're going to sue him. Because he's put that book tour out there as not being a book tour.
We're doing the same thing that Trump did.
But here's what I have, here's the pattern that I've recognized about our former president. Invariably, almost without variation, when our former president makes an accusation against another person, he's usually doing the very same thing.
Exactly.
The consistency of it is maniacal. It's just I always try to look around. I say, okay, he's doing this too, and then it turns out he is.
Yes.
But he gets away with it.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, he does.
He certainly has.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason DeSantis doesn't want to come out yet, he knows Trump will have laser focus on him, and he doesn't want that heat. Because no matter what, I don't know if he's seasoned enough to handle Trump.
Well, he started commenting on him very aggressively this past week. Like he was somewhere doing a speech and he tried to annihilate him, but I never, and this is not an insult, it's just the way I feel about it. There's a pubescent kind of tone when our former president is going after someone. It's almost like a yan yan yan. You know, like that.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. It never sounds like an adult having something constructive to say in defense of something valid.
Right.
And I think the sad part is that people enjoy it. It's like little kids.
Well, yeah.
Nana, 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 I got you.
Why do you think these reality shows are so popular?
Oh, yeah.
Just throws out all the fundamentals of self-awareness, organizational agility, political savvy.
Just all.
This
you don't need that anymore.
Played, but you got to play it. You know? They're not playing it that way.
You don't even have to be qualified to be president.
Right.
Just have to be a public figure.
Yeah.
You know, which says something about us as voters,
as a country.
Yeah. It says something about us. Go ahead, man.
Bishop, you were saying the other thing that DeSantis is shutting down things here, and people are standing by. I don't know if I only have two reasons. Either they're terrified of him, or they're on his coattail because they think he's going to ride to the White House. Now, when it comes to public schools and the education thing, he is homed in on a board of education in many cities.
What is that?
Down here in Broward, he kicked. I mean, a court and justice came in, put him back on, but he knocked 4 people off the board of education in Fort Lauderdale.
That's not his business.
Yeah. Not that they're elected officials, and you think they're elected. How can you take them out? But he comes up with ways. He does it. He gets away with it. And
well, you said the judge put him back on, right?
Yeah.
You know what he may be like, Rich. He and Tom. You know, there are certain people in all of our families that do bizarre or say bizarre things, and they get used to most people not saying anything to them. So they continue to operate as though, not that they're not doing anything wrong, but there's not going to be any consequences. And I think because a lot of people don't say anything against DeSantis, that he just kind of feels like, I'm going to do this, and most of the time they won't do anything. So he figures, I'll snatch them off the board. Let's see who if they get back on, fine. If they don't, I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah. He certainly got a lot on the state.
Well, not only that, they were on the board for a period of time because they had to get a court and justice in. So they were there for 6, 7, 8 months. to get accomplish what he wanted in the first place.
I want to know why is the impression from out here, and I understand how the news works. Case in point, when there was a hurricane on the East Coast, I had friends calling me from like California and Texas because the pictures they were showing was that we were underwater.
That's right.
I said, Doc, it's just raining where I live.
Raining and windy. Yeah, raining and windy.
So the perception that the news gives, you have to kind of audit that.
That's right.
But the impression that we have up here in Jersey is that the voters are asleep in Florida. Is that true?
I'm going to have to say that that's a pretty good, because, I sit back, I know how I vote. I think I know how my friends vote.
Yeah.
And I mean, he won by a couple of million votes as governor. I mean, it wasn't a close race.
A couple million?
Yeah, it wasn't close at all. He was, I don't know, a couple million.
All right, tell us this then.
Way up.
What was it about him that got him elected?
Yes.
That's what I want to
That's a good question.
Come on, Tom.
Well, when he first got elected, he barely made it.
So the first time he scarcely made it in?
Oh, I mean, by the skin of his teeth.
Okay.
But this go around, he a whopping majority when
So what did he do that made the majority vote for him the second time around? What was he? Pro business, pro what?
Let's put it this way: Trump without being Trump.
Okay.
And,
but that's usually a number that's smaller than the majority.
Yeah, Bishop, if I had the answer to that, I can't figure that one out.
I'm trying to figure out who drank the Kool-Aid on this one.
Yeah. Something real quick before you kick me off here.
Okay.
When it comes to the banking thing, the reason they said the largest bank, they meant the largest bank to fail, not that it was the largest bank.
Okay.
And I have a question for you. The CEO of that bank, Greg Dicker.
Okay.
That dude took his severance pay, his bonus money, whatever, hours before the feds came in. I understand most of the board did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with these folks? Are they going to get that money back?
Well,
I mean, they saw what was going on. They got paid and left.
Well, I think a lot of guys cashed in their stock in the days leading up to the failure. You can take your money and go home. That does not mean that you're going to escape the Securities and Exchange Commission. You can go home if you want to.
Right.
You can go on vacation if you want to. That does not mean you're getting away with anything. So that impression that was given is incorrect. FDIC is not a weak-willed organization, and federal government, when it comes to these types of indiscretions, your bank doesn't fail and you walk away with $35 million. It just, especially in a small regional situation.
That's right.
Now, if there's a bailout clause and you got the parachute, all that kind of stuff, you could legitimately have some separation money.
Yeah, if their monies were vested, whether it was stock options, restricted options, performance units, if they were vested, they just hadn't exercised them, or they just hadn't pulled the money.
Right.
It's in their right to do that.
Yeah.
They can do that. But if they did it because they knew of some insider information, then that's what the SEC
and it kind of looks like that.
That's right.
It kind of looks like that. Let's get out. Let's get off the ship before it sinks. That's what it looks like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the rat's getting off. And I work for a company that happened too. With this, I work for Lockheed Martin.
Yeah.
And years ago, it was a big contract that they knew the company wasn't going to get. CEO and a whole board of directors basically cashed out. Stock went from like $91 a share down to $18 a share. And these guys cashed out, and the Feds went after them because they saw the writing when they knew Congress was not going to pass these contracts. They saw the writing on the wall, and it was. I can't believe how people in power can sit there and leave us holding the bag is basically what they're doing.
But you understand, for years, under certain administrations, the rules were relaxed that allowed this kind of thing to happen. And guys were, working within the law to make themselves as rich, as wealthy as possible.
That's right, because there are really stringent laws.
Oh yeah, but that's why they always want deregulation, right. Relax it so you can do some of the things you couldn't do before. And in that context of relaxed rules, there's a lot of personal money to be made, and they say it's for the organization. But if you're the president of a bank and your bank makes $1 million, you're not supposed to make more than 5% of that. Mm-hmm. So if your bank's making $300 billion, it's legal for you to have a salary at 5% of that your salary. And they're talking about bonuses and incentives. Mm-hmm. It's legal for that 5. Yeah. So but if you got a bank that's only doing $1 million, and you're taking $250,000, you're out of pocket.
You're wrong.
But they have rules, and so these big guys, they legally make money. But one friend of mine that works on Wall Street, he's retired now. You know him. Was on the board with us.
Oh yeah, I forget his name.
He tells me all the time. He says, they keep eating until one day they eat their young by accident. He said, and then they have a problem. He said, man, we just keep it in. Oops,
went a little too far.
So they always go too far.
Wow.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey, take care.
Talk to you soon.
That's a good analogy.
We got Delaware Robin. Good morning, Delaware Robin. How are you?
Well, good morning, Bishop. I'm tired, so I ain't gonna be sweet today.
If fatigue takes the sweetness away, it ain't really sweet. But we'll keep talking.
I'm just kidding. Good morning, Reverend White. It's nice to hear your voice, and just wanted to tell you I love when you do the prayer call.
Morning, Robin.
He can pray. He can pray.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I like when he does the prayer call. Yes, he can.
That's good news.
This morning.
That's all
good
right.
News.
This is 30 years. This is going on for 30 years now.
I ordained him, so so that's encouraging to me that the ordination paid off. He can pray.
If it was any other way, it'd be something wrong.
Bishop, you a mess. You are a mess.
Oh, Lord.
What did your mom say to you when you was acting up?
Oh, you don't want to hear it.
Oh, okay.
She didn't play with us boys, man. She didn't play with us boys. She couldn't. Single woman raising 2 boys.
Oh, wow.
Man, she had to set down the law early, man.
Wow.
My mom could stick and move, too.
I'm sure.
Yeah, she could stick and move.
Sure
oh, yeah, she could stick and move down. She didn't, like, she hit you in the gut, then uppercut you.
Wow.
And then come back with a cross.
Don't make them like that no more.
Wow. My mom used to do that, but I would always turn where my face is facing her, because I know she wouldn't hit me in the face, but she still found a way to get me.
I remember, this is crazy. My grandfather had a superstition. My granddad had 4 girls, so he had a superstition that once they got the cycle that you couldn't beat them. My grandma told him he was crazy. He said, "You may not be able to beat him." She said, I'm going in on him.
Oh, God,
I think one of my aunts, my grandpa was getting ready. My grandmother was getting ready to get her. And she said, "Daddy said you can't beat this
during this time." Oh.
My grandmother said, "Well, you better go get him because I got you right now."
Oh, that thing! I can't live. I'll start crying.
That thing cracked me up, man.
But Bishop, I wanted to first say, your messages are always good. I mean, for the years I've been there and watching you on TBN. But for some reason, this season, 2023, because Sunday service, when you was walking and talking and went down on your knees, that was so powerful. I mean, I could just feel it through the TV.
Wow.
I could just feel that was God.
Oh, yeah.
But I watched it like 3 or 4 times, almost cried. I'm like, look at my pastor. He's showing us how to worship God. And I just wanted to say that was such a powerful move that you did.
I appreciate that, Robin.
Yes,
people
Lord
are
Jesus.
That it's powerful.
They're starting to get moved. They're moving, and people are coming, and it's just, we've been having this kind of almost revival type feeling virtually every service since the new year. You know, we set the platform from September to December, and then God launched us in this new wave of glory, and it's really, it's showing true, man.
Strong worship.
Yeah.
With good word.
Yeah, man.
Does something to you.
Yeah.
Bishop, no joke, y'all.
And on another note, though, you know, he got on his knees and he could get up. A lot of people can't get up. I can't hardly get up when I'm down on my knees, and I'm 10 years younger.
Right. So you feel me when I'm saying we on our knees, and it takes us a little while to get up.
I told my wife, I said, I can't do that.
You're struggling.
Yeah, but y'all was talking about, y'all was talking about the bank fallout.
Yeah.
And I was like going to ask about that, but y'all kind of explained, because I didn't know if it had something to do with all the banks.
No.
All the banks.
The news gave the impression, just like the hurricane illustration I just gave you, the rest of the country thought New Jersey was underwater. And people call me on the phone, Robin, Doc, what can we do for you? What you mean? The wind's blowing and it's raining. But the news, I said, Doc, we're not underwater. We're 50 minutes away from the beach, man. I said, it ain't happening like that. So it's perception. And, they're saying the two largest banks in the city, not in the country, not in the state.
That's right.
Wow. But regarding if it was a Republic Bank, Republic, there is one here in Wilmington. I looked it up. It's on
First
Market
Republic.
Street in Wilmington.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Because there's Republic here, right?
There's Republic and there's
that's Vernon Hills Bank right now. Yeah. Right now it's Vernon's. So, but First Republic is another bank.
You know, banks are just like churches. They just split.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, y'all free this morning.
Second Baptist, Third Baptist, Fourth Baptist, Fifth Baptist.
Bitcoin is going up. I buy stock.
Of course it is.
I mean, when I say it's soaring, it's going up.
It's destined to go back up. Destined to go up.
Yeah, it's going to go back up. Yeah. So I just buy the stock. And Uber stock, you definitely want to buy that.
Yeah.
They are about to take over the transportation.
You think so?
Yes, all the stuff they added to the Rider app, because I use the Rider app, when I go to the airport, I'm going away.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely want to buy Uber and DoorDash. I'm telling you. You definitely want to buy those.
That makes sense because they are popular.
Yeah, you definitely. I'm
we
buying
need to look into that, Rich.
I drive for Uber, so I might as well have the stock too.
Well, the business model is great for both of them. I mean, cars cost a lot of money. I mean, folks are now getting 7-year loans to buy a car.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. 7-year loans to buy a car. So it's like,
but only way they can afford to get one.
Only way they can afford to get them. So a lot of young folks are like,
they think 5 years and 6 years are fine.
I'll just take an Uber around. I'm not buying a car.
You can't blame them. Yeah. Especially if you live in the city.
DoorDash. I know. I got a child in college, and I see DoorDash.
Do you?
Quite often. When I look at,
but I hear it's so expensive.
It's convenient though.
But it's expensive. But yeah, I've talked to some riders. They actually sold their car and just used an Uber. It was on 6ABC News where a lot of young people, they decided just to use Uber because they said the car payments are too high, the insurance the gas, and the maintenance. That's why I'm saying start buying stock in Uber.
It depends where you live, though.
Oh yeah, it depends where you live as well.
I think you need a car in Jersey.
Right. Yes, you have it.
Yeah, you
need a car here.
Got it
in Jersey.
Yeah, you need a car sometimes. Yeah, in Delaware too. But I'm great. I'm great to say one more thing, and I'm getting off.
I don't believe you.
But yeah, believe me, I'm kind of tired this morning, so I'm being good today. But I just received a notification on 6ABC News. You know how it comes to your phone, and it says former President Trump is claiming in a post on his social media platform that he will be arrested on Tuesday related to the Manhattan District Attorney's investigation into hush money payments made to adult film star ahead of the 2016 presidential election. As part of the post, Trump is also calling on his supporters to protest.
National news.
Yep, and 6ABC said they haven't confirmed, with the district attorney, whatever, everything. But when I read it, I had to start laughing. Because it's like he's trying to get everybody to we're going to, start a protest.
Yeah.
And if he does that, we don't want to see another January the 6th.
Well, I think he's trying to gin up one.
Yeah.
You know, but can he get away with that now?
First one, fool me, you know, the whole fool me once.
Yeah, you can't,
shame on you. Fool me twice.
He might think it'll work, but he's not in D.C. He's in New York. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob.
So that's all I have. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too now.
All right.
Bye-bye. So I was watching the other day, and they said that state of California pulled a $30 million contract from Walgreens.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious because I often wonder how come you go to Walgreens and there's never more than 5-6 cars out there at a time. You know, it's just not a busy place. So I decided to go look. So you think $30 million would be something?
Mm-hmm.
Rich? It's a rounding error.
Yeah.
For Walgreens, $30 million is a rounding error.
Yeah.
Literally, a rounding error.
I believe it. Because Walgreens, whether it's Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid.
Doc, they're making money. They're making money other ways other than traffic going through there. You understand what I'm saying?
You're right about that.
They're making money other ways, and because I think Walgreens may be like $140 billion company.
I believe so.
So $30 million, we don't want to do business with them. Is simply, let's change the 4 to a 5.
Yeah. $132 billion. 2022.
$30 million is a rounding error.
$132 billion.
And what's the million on the back of that? It was like 132 billion, 139 million.
Yeah, 132 billion, 148 million.
Yeah, it's a rounding error.
Yeah.
They're not overly concerned.
They're not concerned at all.
But I'm like, when I saw that, I said, okay. But now I understand how to stay open.
But that gets to the way you were talking about this news a bit earlier, sensationalism. Whether it's the local news, if the local news is doing that with weather and sports and these type of things, the dark web, which a lot of folks listen to now and look at for their news, is that much more worse.
Now, I'm going to confess some ignorance. What programming is on the dark web? I don't even know how to get to it.
Only reason I know anything about it because they taught us a class at work about it, getting on the dark web. It is certain portals I can get to it at home.
Okay.
But I can't get to it at work.
Okay.
We have the firewalls.
Sure.
And things like that. But it's really just about dark stuff. I've never been on it.
Okay.
But you could get to it. I could get to it right now if I wanted to. But it's just real. All that it's dark. They say it's really dark.
When you say dark, you mean tonally, dismal, kind of everything's going to be destroyed tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, that type of thing.
No, it's a lot of bad stuff going on the dark web in terms of, whether it's trafficking, whether it's political,
so it's
whether
bad
it's
stuff.
racial, whether it's, drug, it's just, finding how to go to Mexico and get you.
The underbelly.
Yeah,
the underbelly of social media. Okay. Wow.
Watching basketball, saw some
upsets.
This is a great David and Goliath thing is coming to play. Oh, man. Purdue gets beat by New Jersey.
You better look out for those Jersey schools.
Jersey don't play with Jersey.
It's only happened twice.
And it happened
twice
2 years
with Jersey schools, though.
That's right. St. Petersburg and
St. Mary's and Fairleigh
Dickinson, yeah.
They were too fast for him last time.
That's exactly what Charles Barkley said. He said, Purdue went big, and these guys just ran. And we were talking this morning. They had nothing to lose.
Well,
they had zero to lose.
And they can play.
And they can play.
One of the commentators said on TV the other day, he said, you know what? We need to just admit guys from Jersey can play basketball. He just can play.
Forever.
Because a lot of states, they figure we're not a, ball school, we're a wrestling state.
That's right.
Get some good football players.
And track runners, too.
Track. And we have famous track.
That's right.
But they balled those guys last night. And they didn't break.
They didn't break. And they kept going and kept going.
And they were like shooting threes like, here, take this.
Yeah. And guess what? And Princeton beat Arizona.
Yes, sir.
Princeton, another Jersey school.
Yes, sir. Arizona, they tore them up, man.
And wasn't no prevent offense. Back in the day, Princeton used to do that. Hold the ball.
They played. They played.
They played ball. So. Yeah, don't sleep on Jersey and basketball, y'all.
Arizona was no way they thought they were going to lose.
Shocked.
Well, I don't think they were more shocked than Purdue was.
Purdue was shocked.
Those guys were like, what? What just happened?
The only team I think is going to do very well is South Carolina and Dawn State. Those ladies can play some ball.
If they don't just have a horrible game,
yeah, they have to beat themselves.
They're gonna beat everybody. Because she can bring the whole bench off and still have a varsity team.
I mean, they're fierce.
Doc. But Dawn was fierce.
Yeah, she was fierce. And she was intense competitive.
You know, she's a local girl.
That's right. That's right.
Local girl, but she's, you know, she was sitting on the sideline just
chilling.
Yeah, it was no tension.
Yeah.
You know, she'd stand up and protest a call every night because she felt like she should. Come on, you can't do that. And then she'd go sit back down.
And she's finally getting her due. She's second highest paid after the guy at UConn. I forget his name. Yeah. And she's starting to get commercials and stuff now. I'm just so proud. I'm just so happy.
Yeah,
for
man.
her. I'm just so happy for her.
And they got to make a commercial sometime. She says, "Connecticut who?"
Yeah.
Because
they'd have won the SEC title 8 years in a row.
Yes, sir.
Undefeated.
She's going to get all the talent.
All the talent.
Just like Connecticut used to get all the talent.
It's all coming to her. It's all coming to Dawn.
It's going to be a wonderful thing. This tournament looks good. Oh, we're out of time. Now, look, y'all. We need you to join us tomorrow. 8 a.m. is our virtual service. 11 o'clock is our service live here in the sanctuary. We want you to come on out and be with us and have a great time in the Lord. We're in the book of 1 John. Something is not taught or preached much at all. You're going to really enjoy the way God has laid it on our heart. Wednesday nights, we're in this series focused on purpose. It's called Leverage. You don't want to miss one moment of that. So we want to see you tomorrow morning at our virtual service, 8 a.m., live at 11 o'clock in the sanctuary, 7 o'clock on Wednesday night for our midweek impact. We want to let you know that we'd love to pray for you. So you can send us your prayer requests to social@gotobethany.com. social@gotobethany.com. So we want you to send your prayer requests. We would love to agree with you on whatever prayer request, prayer need that you have. Check us out on all our platforms. Tell somebody about us. And for Reverend Richard White, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. And remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time.